Alright everyone, my name is Mowmaster. Welcome back to FTB Skies. Today, a little bit of progress on the base right now. I did this little, I don't know, glass bit around the whole storage area. That way, when the time comes, maybe in a future episode, I will, or maybe in a future between episode, I will do the same thing that's been done on this one side where it's like a room under here. Maybe I'll do that all the way around. But for right now, it's just covered up in glass, and so the process has been started, which is good. I did set up a little furnace-y setup here because sometimes I just want to smelt some stuff, which is nice. I did reset up our magnet and obsidian generation, or the magnet for our obsidian generation, and then let's just go directly into our system here. So we got a little bit of obsidian going. I am using a fair bit as we go along here. In fact, I even put storage upgrades in there because I want to make sure I can keep that little block full of obsidian. The reason why I'm keeping obsidian placed in world is a lot of times when coming over here, grabbing like 3 of these, because sometimes I don't want to fully upgrade the like stack size on a pedestal. I just want, a buffer, if you will, like four stacks on a pedestal is pretty good sometimes. And so I've been going over crafting 3 tier 1 augments. I've been making tier 4 augments, like a whole stack of 16 of them with, a stack of obsidian. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of augmenting of pedestals now that we have materials for it, which has been amazing, by the way. But yeah, so that's mainly what I've been doing with all of the obsidian. So I just have what's called a filler. I guess I'll kind of run over what the filler does. So that's kind of what I have set up for the filler. The filler you're going to be a little bit careful with. If you select a 1-high slab of blocks, it will attempt to fill your world from bedrock to sky level with whatever block is in here, which I'm sure not many people want. So if you select anything bigger than a 1-high slab, so in our case a 2-high slab, then it will not do crazy filling, and it will only fill, the space that you've defined instead. There may be a time, and maybe what I'll do, instead of having like the weird 1-high selection thing, because that's a lot of code that I really don't need. What I might do is I might just make like some sort of like super insane extra modification recipe for it. That might be the better solution. Because the pump can do that, the quarry can do that, the drain can do that, and the filler can do that. It's just a feature that all 4 can do, which is kind of nuts, but it's kind of nice in some cases. The quarry and the pump mainly are really nice to have that feature, especially in the nether if you're pumping lava. So, yeah, just the pump, or the filler, that's kind of how that works. It fills in blocks, and it's quite nice. At base speed, it will do 4 blocks a time, but like every 2 seconds basically, and it will just keep iterating through the, different block positions until it finishes. So, the quarry is the reverse of this basically. So the quarry breaks blocks 4 at a time by default, and it just iterates through kind of the whole square. There is a cooldown in between, but the cooldown is not super long on a space like this, so nothing to worry about. Yeah, so that's the filler. Over here we have a bunch of diamond blocks. What I want to do here is we are getting some budding amethyst, which is nice. And the reason I want budding amethyst is, let's touch on the reason actually. We have installed this mod called effect scrolls in our pack. And effect scrolls is another one of my mods. It's more of the magic-y mod. Pedestals is magic-y-ish. Borderline tech, but effect scrolls is definitely more down that magic route. Effect scrolls currently only has the ability to obtain various effects that are in the game. Right now I think a bunch of the Ars Nouveau effects are currently set up. I'm not entirely sure what all there is. I'll have to look again, but like Some of the Botania ones, some of the Ars Nouveau ones, there's a fair few effects that exist, and there's some that don't. So, just based on the mod pack, you might have various effects that exist, and maybe you won't sometimes too. It just kind of depends on what's installed. So, and for mod pack devs, they can modify those recipes if they wanted, but not. This mod really hasn't made it into a lot of packs yet because, again, it only does effects. Basically, it does AOE effect diffusion, and it also does effect scrolls, which are kind of like one-time consumable effect bursts. They're like potions, but easier to use, in my opinion. So, the reason I'm collecting the budding amethyst is we can make some of these using the crystal node converter. So, any gems with a color applicator will make this. The idea was amethyst, but you don't always have amethyst in your world, so having it be any sort of gem is nice. And then a color applicator, just red, blue, and green dyes, which is easy peasy. Especially when you have like beetroot for red. Green is cactus, that's easy enough. And then blue is obviously lapis. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this. But we'll just do this real quick. And then just a wee bit of paper, which was our sugar cane. And then, what was that? Red, green, blue. Boom, like so. And then 8 gems. I have so much amethyst, it does not matter. This is a shapeless recipe, so it doesn't really matter how you place it. There you go. And these, if you right-click a block, it says, this block isn't budding amethyst. So, if I go over, I don't know, here, I guess, wouldn't be a bad place. Let's grab some torches or something. The only reason I want torches, I want this to be off the ground just a wee bit. You know, cobble will be fine. Because we have all these pigs in our world, I want to not have the pigs collide with the crystals. If I can help it. We'll leave a 2-block gap. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Boom. Okay. And how this works, just right click, boom. And you get various colors of the crystals, which is kind of cool. And then what each color corresponds to, basically this will start to grow the crystals. Yeah, start to grow the crystals. And when they're done growing, we can figure out what effects we have. The blue ones tend to be more like water-based effects. So this one might be like Dolphin's Grace, for example. I don't know if it will be or not. I'll have to wait and see. This one could be water breathing, and that one could be conduit, or I mean I don't know exactly which ones they are. That could be, I don't know, levitation, flight related. I don't know, yellow. It could be saturation related. Yellows to whites are usually more like saturation or flight type stuff. I don't know exactly what it could be, but it's all random. There is legit ways to get flight in this game. I am using a totem for it, but I honestly forget half the time that I have the totem, and so I'm running around anyway instead of flying. But with an effect scroll, I mean, it'd be pretty obvious. It's like, oh yeah, I have this effect scroll I can use, which is pretty cool. And I just think the totems mod is a little over insane. But as you see, that already grew a crystal, so it really doesn't need the fertilizer. These grow pretty quick, and there's a config to speed them up if you need it. Obviously, you could still time it to bottle them, but yeah, that's just a mod I sideloaded because I felt like it. And I wanted another way to get different effects in the game, basically. So that's kind of why that happened. Yeah, so with everything we've done so far today. It's kind of a bit of rambling, but it's been good. Alright, let's get into the main meat and potatoes what I wanted to cover today, and that was I recorded a 2-hour video, and I'm like, I do not want to edit out this 2-hour video because there's a lot of like cuts I'd have to make to go in between some of the stuff I had trouble with. Like setting up create to do this wasn't too bad. Until I realized I had crossbows, and I had to reset the whole thing up again. Setting up this was a big pain in the ass, because this guy will place shears on here if no item exists. So, you have to then detect if an item exists, and then if it does exist, turn it back on. It's such a pain in the ass to set up, but what this is doing is this is cutting up leather armor into leather. So I'm able to recycle all our leather armor this way, which is great. And this is our mob loot farm, basically. So how this is working is we have both a nether farm and an overworld farm, which is right there. And both of these get put into here. So we're seeing some red fire shards come in, some gold. So our nether farm is working right now. And so what happens from there is we're sending to various other pedestals. There's one pedestal down here that gets sent to last. That one, these 4. Is there any others? I think those are the main ones here. Yeah, I think that's all the main sorting. Could this be done with another mod? I think modular routers could probably do this. Integrated dynamics, XNet could all do this fairly easily. Create would be a big old mess of a time to do all this. Create has the filters that could do this. It'd just be a mess because of all the frickin' belts and everything you'd have to run. I'm trying to think what other mods could do this. I guess pipes could do this, but you have the fucking spaghetti pipes all over the place doing all the filtering. Just a lot of filtering, and having the wireless is quite nice, but it is still a bit more messy than I would like. But it's not bad. It's really not all that bad. If I really, really, really wanted to, I could hide all this in a wall or something and not have to look at it, but I'm not that concerned. Because it's the setup that was kind of fun. And the setup's not 100% complete yet. There is still modifications I could make, which is why you see these barrels every so often underneath these guys, or the chests or whatever, because I may need to reset the filter. And so, because the mob farm produces resources all the frickin' time, this makes it really, really easy to reset the filters instead of having to, like, take all the items out so I can reset the filter. This is just a lot easier to do it if I need to, reset something up for some reason. Oh yeah, I'm not disenchanting bows. That's fine. Right, so let's kind of run through how this works, because this was what I was going to cover. It ended up being, like I said, a 2-hour video, and I could not be bothered to edit that into a potentially watchable feature. So instead, I'm going to run through this system, and then we're going to cover a lot of the different filters the Pedestals has. Because originally why I made all the filters I did is because I love mob farms. And I love being able to sort through enchants and stuff with mob farms. A lot of these filters existed back in 1.16, and so I maybe not am using all of them at the moment, but we could at some point when we get there. So I want to run through some of the filters, because I know filtering is definitely an advanced topic in Pedestals, and a lot of people still do not understand quite how they work. So I really, really, really want to go through that. We're going to hit on this. This will prevent this from working if it's on, and then that way I can take out filters and show you kind of what's going on here. So first of all, we'll just hit this, and this will tell us it's going here first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and then that's seventh. So we have one more connection left on here if we want. But, having said all that, this filter here obviously has a lot of crap in it. That's all these items down here. So, this filter is filtering for all of our different mob drops. And what I'm doing is, this is sending over here, filtering out mob drops, and then it's sending it down here, which is on a drawer extension, and that's just going straight in the drawer system. So that's kind of how I'm doing this. Could I set this up for every possible item that goes in there? Yes, but we have an issue where player heads, or we have, I don't know, some mod has beheading, and when heads drop, some of them drop as player heads, like Endermen and some other mobs, spiders. And other ones drop as vanilla heads, like creepers, skeletons, zombies, wither skeletons. Because of that head dropping crap, not all your heads will go in the drawer system. Some of them will actually go in here because their NBT data is slightly different for who knows what reason. And it's frustrating enough that I don't want to have to try and accommodate for every different filters items in there. So instead, I have kind of like what I'm calling relays. So the relay will do the main filtering, and then it will just send it to the unfiltered endpoint. So that's kind of how this whole system works. Yeah, so we have mob drops being filtered out here. We have ability totems. Ability totems actually are going here, which is our void upgrade. And they're just straight up getting deleted. Where they should be. Is that? No. Hold on. Does the void upgrade not work for multiple slots? Did I fuck it up? I did, didn't I? Alright, that's a bug I'm gonna have to fix. No. Wait, hold on. The hell? What the hell? Why are you not deleting things? You should be deleting things. Does it just not want to delete stuff when you have multiple slots? Alright, well, either way, that's a bug I'm gonna have to fix, so... Yikes. But I suppose that's okay. But yeah, all of the ability totems, I'm just like, to hell with ability totems at this point. I have flight, I have my regen, I have resistance, I have strength. I really don't need any more, so they're all getting voided at this point. This is the mob heads one. So all of our different heads are actually going to this pedestal, which is linked to that pedestal. And so all of them are just going into a chest, like an overflow chest, if you will. And also the overflow chest, what are these things called? The arrow quivers. Is it just a quiver? Yeah, quiver. All the quivers are going in there too. I want all the arrows from them because they're all different effects, and maybe I can mess with stuff later with those. I don't know. Yeah, but all those are going kind of into the pedestal and then into overflow, which is fine. I can sort through all that stuff later. The next step here, oops, is we have our tag filter, and the way tag filters work, we can clear this one out real quick. The way I've been using tag filters is... Let's go grab a piece of armor real quick, because I have some armor that I haven't scrolled through here. If I take an armor piece, and not put it on my body, and offhand it, and then right-click the tag getter, whatever interaction that equips it to me in my offhand, I don't like that mod, but I'm working with it. But what that does is when you right-click it with an item in your offhand, this will populate. And so this will kind of populate all your different tags on that item. What I'm currently doing is I have one of these selecting like forge armor. So if I just right click here, we can get forge armor. I have also forge armors. So we have armors, armor, and tools. So like a sword has a tool tag. Most armor has the armor tag. And then for whatever reason, mechanism armors have the armors tags. I don't know why it has to be different, but it is. It's frustrating, to say the least. But yeah, so when you set up the filter, just like all other filters, crouch right click on the barrel or inventory, whatever you're using, chest, barrel, what have you. And yeah, it will save on it all the different, so it saves the items, but when we do the filter readout here, obviously it's only looking at the tags, and those are the different tags that we've selected. So yeah, that's kind of how that works. Yeah, you select it, whatever the name of this item is, which is currently like Forge Tools, that's the selected one, and you see in orange what the selected tag is. I know Create can do tags in a better format where they like You can select multiple tags on the same item. I'm doing single tags because this is kind of how my tag filter has worked in the past. It worked differently, but still kind of the same way. Actually, honestly, this is a better way to do it. Because before, you'd literally have to rename items to tag names, and it was very not user-friendly. So this is 100% better, in my opinion, to have an item that can select the tags for you, and then you just, use that item. Still not maybe ideal for some folks, but this is amazingly good compared to before. Don't have to waste all my levels renaming items all the time, which is nice. And the tag getters are super cheap to make. They're just paper and the tag tool, which is this one, right before upgrade tool. But yeah, so that's kind of the main filters going on here. So yeah, main mob loot, ability totems, fuck those, mob heads, and then armor and stuff. Armor and stuff doesn't go into our system. It actually goes over here. You can barely, yeah, there you go. There's the blue box there. And so that goes over here. This is our recycling chest. So this guy here, this guy has experience recycling as well as item recycling. And how the item recycling works is so like leather armor. If you hit uses, there is no smelting recipe. On metal armors and tools, there is usually, and it'll give you like a nugget of material when it recycles. I do know Create has a true like recycler, if you will. And maybe at some point we'll use that, but I have another mob setup I want to do that returns like 100% of the armor drops. And I have a whole nother like setup I want to do later with like more advanced mob looting, basically. But yeah, so this will get all the armors. If the armor is enchanted or not, it doesn't matter if it's enchanted or not, this will recycle it in some fashion. Leather armor, because it only has enchants but can't be recycled, this will eat the enchants off, then put it in here, and from here we can send it over here. So there's two ways to send it. Currently, I'm putting, so this over here is a nuggets and leather tagged filter. It has a magnet on it because I'm trying to collect the leather in this area. But otherwise, anything that comes out of here, it's either a leather armor, which goes this direction, which is these armors. It goes here, and then this triggers this whole system to run, and creates weird. It will try to place shears in here unless you power it off. So I have to have this stupid setup to make that work. It's painful. Let's like test it here. Boom, turns on, breaks it, turns off, and it stops going. So it doesn't place all my shears in there and fuck up the system. But yeah, that's kind of how that works. So leather goes there, gets turned into leather, gets sucked up by the magnet, and then that does go in the system. So there is a chance this could get clogged up because I don't have like steel nugget or obsidian nuggets. Oops, let's turn that back on. And yes, I've sped all this up like super fast because I like that. Alright, why is that not sending? What is causing this to clog up? I'm confused. Why are you clogging up? The fuck? Oh, because that's all. That's powering both. I see. Okay, I'm dumb. That's why. Okay. But yeah. So. Blah, blah, blah. Just let that run real quick. But yeah. So this whole thing, as you see, nuggets going in there, then they're going in there. Yeah, it's all doing good work here. So. What I haven't explained yet is over here we have this. So both of our XP farms, what they do is they package their experience in packages, which is all good and dandy. But yeah, they're doing the self-packaging energy, and they do, you know, like 55 levels of package, which is decent. Theoretically now I don't need to worry about that, but I'm still doing it. So anyways, package experience goes here. And then from here, I'm super packaging this. This is like 150 levels worth of experience or something crazy. So yeah, we're packaging like mega experience in this guy. Like this is the max storage augments you can put on a pedestal, max tier 4s. And so yeah, we're like super compressing our experience here. And then this, whatever it does actually fill up, my goal is just to barrel it. That way, we can just store mega amounts of experience and not have to worry about it. So that's one other system that we got going on, is the whole experience storing of experience. And then last but not least, my favorite bit, crafting bows and crossbows to make fully made bows and crossbows. Is it necessary? Absolutely not. Do I like doing it anyway? Yes. I don't know. I just find it fun. Just a fun little thing to do. Speaking of which, I forgot actually to set up a drawer for crossbows. I don't know how. I just forgot. And now I need a void upgrade so that I cannot run into an issue where it fills up. Because you can only store 32 bows in a drawer. So I don't want to fill that up too fast. I'm trying to think though. I suppose an armory cabinet could work too, but I'm scared because I right click on the drawer controller a lot, and I don't want my tools to get sucked up all the time. So yeah, that could be bad. But anywho, yeah, so we got crafting going on here. How this works is this filter here is looking for tags for bows and crossbows. Easy enough. This is looking for bows, and this is looking for crossbows. And this is just a regular item filter, so it doesn't look for exact bow durability. It just looks for, in general, is it a bow, is it a crossbow? Cool. Those will go crafted. Go into here, because the little arrows point to this pedestal. This pedestal is upgraded with some storage augments, so it has a little buffer in case, you know, both are crafting at the same time and trying to push. So, not a problem. This then is set up in a way where this is the first link, and these are the next links. And the reason for that is this is an item stack filter looking specifically for fully repaired bows and crossbows. So if it does find a fully repaired bow or crossbow, it goes here, and then that goes into our drawer system and gets stored. If not, it goes and gets recycled again until it does become fully repaired. So that's kind of how the whole bow crafting bit works. And it works out pretty good that way. So, yeah, that is the whole mob farm setup.